Um, Dude, yeah, let's have a little as we're waiting for people. Let's kind of recap our conversation last night because
Okay.
I just started the recording.
Okay.
So what's that quote again?
The quote is, um, if you're the most present person in the room, you're going to make a lot of friends.
Mm,
And that was definitely eye-opening, like just people can, I think it's a subconscious thing, people kind
mm,
of pick up on that presence where you're not, you don't have any feeling of anxiety or you're not scared of being judged. You're not scared of anything. It's that fear-based, thinking that when you're present, that all just seems to kind of float away. So I
yeah,
think that
because
was
like
a takeaway, dude.
yeah, if you're not in the present, you're either in the past, which you
Mm,
can't change,
mm,
and or you're in the future,
right.
which you're taking away. So every moment that you're in the future or in the past, you're taking away from your future because your future is determined by what you do in the present,
Yeah, dude, I love
right?
that so much. Yeah. Actually, now that you bring that up, after we got off the phone last night, I just kind of started to relax and meditate a bit. And I noticed for me personally, um, a lot of anxiety comes from the future. So my brain started to float to like, the problems I'm going to be facing tomorrow, or the
Mm,
problems, that I'm going to have to deal with in the next 3 days or 4 days. And that's a huge source of anxiety. But once I reeled it back and was just, focused on letting go of that and like just knowing, um, just take it one step at a time and be present. I mean, it's such a different feeling, it's so much more powerful.
mm. Yeah, I mean, what would it look like if if that attachment to the present, that you were talking about, like
Yeah.
being attached to the idea of not being attached to anything but the present moment.
Right. Yeah. I
Like
think,
how would that just I mean how would that impact the way that we are with people?
yeah, I think, if you're just attached to the present moment, um, it helps you just connect with the other people in your life, at a such higher level, and it's not only so healthy for you, but again, they pick up on it and it changes how they feel. Um, so yeah, I think the question then becomes, how do you get yourself out of that, and how do you bring yourself to the present moment, and how can you stay there?
Mm. As you're saying that, um I just did like a little, mini correction back into the present because my phone just started ringing, and I'm like, let me get rid of this distraction, but let me
Mhm.
nail back into the present.
Right.
So I just took like a really deep breath, like, and that also like it gives me some energy, because I'm moving that
Yeah.
energy through my body. So like doing that just makes me feel like super super present, and and yeah, it's like it's just an anchor, to
Right.
like
Yeah, no, I
remind.
think I think I resonate with that, very deeply, because anytime I feel my body and like my mind starting to speed up, that's when I kind of shoot to the future and start living there instead of worrying about now.
Mhm.
Um, And yeah, I do the same thing. I just kind of stop thinking and just think about the breath for a second. Take a couple deep breaths and just really focus on in and out. And then, just even just 3 or 4 breaths can really slow you down and just kind of bring you back to the moment.
Hmm. So what are some situations that you think um, are the most testing when it comes to the intention of being present? So like what situations or experiences are the experiences that for whatever reason take us out of the present?
I think anything that like we have too much of an attachment to the result, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
when we're so fixated on getting the right result, we shoot to the future, or we shoot to the past. But either way, we're not present. Um, so yeah, I think that's a big one. Is just those attachments and how badly we desire the right outcome. Um, Definitely takes us out of it.
Mm. Desiring the right outcome.
Right.
What if we rephrase that and said, instead of being attached to the desired, um, or being attached to the right outcome, instead being attached to the um, being attached to allowing the universe to, or um, what if we were attached to um, the outcome that in that moment we were just meant to receive?
Right. Absolutely.
Not being focused to like what we believe the right outcome to be,
Mm-hmm.
but instead we believe that the right outcome will be, it's not our choice what the right outcome is, but the right outcome is ultimately impacted by what we do right now in this
Right.
moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's kind of like, you know, the right outcome is always there. I hear you say it a lot is, there's always a positive takeaway in everything. So maybe it's not the desired outcome as our bodies would want, but in some shape or form, it is the right outcome.
Yeah.
We just have to be able to seek that and um, understand that principle.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, that's powerful, dude.
Yeah, and like I was saying, a huge thing that came out of last night was just being attached to being present rather than being attached to a desired outcome. Like for me, yesterday with the listing appointment, um, I got rattled, and it was just straight up. I was just attached to the outcome. Like I had a goal. I had to make that happen, and ultimately, what it did was it made me nervous because when I got there, I was like, oh man, I have to make this work. And I have to say the right things. I have to do the right things, and I have to have them say the right things. So I was trying to just, do too much and control too much. And I was very, very attached to everything else around me. Um, but yeah, like we were talking about last night, just I need to refocus on being attached to just being present, and not worrying about the outcomes. The outcomes will be there, um, especially if you're present.
Hmm. So in that moment when you felt like that pit in your stomach or that fear,
Yeah.
do you think that you were focused more on the future or the past?
Um,
Like, what were you projecting from?
That's a good question. I originally, I think it comes from the future, because I just, like I said, I know the result that I wanted to leave with.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to pretty much just get there. You know, I didn't even care about the present moment. All I cared about was the future. All I cared about was getting that perfect result that I wanted. And I mean, you could definitely tell, you know, I was nervous and I was just overthinking things, you know, like exactly what you told me not to do. It's exactly what I did.
Right.
But
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
it
Yeah,
is.
because like, I mean, how much different would that experience for you have been if you like, were walking into that appointment and really like just appreciating the air around you, the
Mm-hmm.
ground that you're walking on, the
Yeah.
feelings that you're feeling, like really get in tune with the senses and
Yeah.
become, like truly become present with your body,
Yeah. No, I
and
mean,
like,
that would have changed everything though. And the outcome would have been the same, if not better. Actually,
yeah.
no, the outcome would have been much better because I would have had a much better experience. And,
Hmm.
you know, the person on the other side would have as well. We're on.
I'm not.
No? Dean, did you send Anna the invite?
Anna should have gotten the invite. Let me see.
I went from the old, and I'm logged into some other one, I guess,
Are you?
by myself.
Okay.